The Made for Makers Instagram challenge is over. I put 33 videos up on Instagram, one per day, plus a couple bonuses to cover the challenge. But if you didn't see it there and you're lazy like me, I've got you covered. I put all 33 of them right here. All you gotta do is let this video keep playing. The Made for Makers Challenge is something that was started a little while ago by some wonderful makers named P.L. Smith. They started it and people put things up there and they do it every year, and I decided to take advantage of it this year. So I got ahead of the game and I got their list and started filming all the videos, and then a week before the challenge they changed the list, so I had to repurpose a few things, and I did that. I put out 31 one-minute videos to match the 31 challenges for the Made for Makers. But because I filmed the earlier one, I had a couple of videos I couldn't repurpose, so I released those as bonuses, so a total of 33 videos. So I put them on Instagram, they went up on Facebook, but now I'm going to put them all together into one big anthology so you can see them all together. So, enjoy! Hello, 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 hello. I'm Chuck, and I build things.
I was born right here. Actually, right there.
I build for fun. It makes me happy. And I build things that make our lives easier. Or to make our lives cooler. I've built so much stuff over the years that people that come over to the house ask for tours to see how everything works. So I started a YouTube channel primarily to show off the stuff that I've built in the past, but also to share the projects I'm building now and into the future. I'm always going to make things because I'm creative and that's what I do. But at least now it's all documented, you know, in case there's lawsuits. Welcome to my wood shop. It's a one-car garage attached to a two-car garage. Everything is modular and can fold out of the way when not in use, like this paint booth. Everything else is on wheels, like this miter saw station. I can use it here or anywhere else I need a miter saw. This workbench that folds up and rolls to wherever I need it. This router sander flip-top table. Drill press bandsaw flip-top table. Roll saw and our grinder. The table saw can expand to 4 times its size when needed. There's Cardi McCart Face, our loyal, mobile, low workstation that we can push anywhere we want.
The Fanboy is our ridiculously overpowered air cleaner. It looks and sounds like a jet engine.
I have a 15 amp receptacle overhead, a 20 amp here, a 20 amp here, and a 20 amp behind me. This modular design allows me to configure the shop any way I need for whatever project I need. Everything in the shop is painted orange, but no one knows why. One of my upcoming projects is to come up with a charging station for this. I want to replace my existing Black & Decker chargers with smart Black & Decker and Ryobi chargers to handle my new tools and my larger batteries. I also want to add USB capability to recharge my earbuds and my cell phone. But I've also heard of some people who have had fires in their shops because they keep their chargers plugged in overnight. I know what you're thinking. The problem here, clearly, is not enough LEDs.
It's so beautiful!
To deal with the remote possibility of fire, my charging system will have a mechanical timer that will automatically shut down the charging system after a set amount of time. That means I'm also going to build a new drill driver holder because it doesn't have to charge anymore and I can build something more advanced.
I have got to get me one of these!
Battery and fire hazard management will be nice to have, but of course the real reason I'm building this is more LEDs. What's on my plate? Well, if that means we're talking about food, are we talking about food? If we're talking about food, barbecue. That's what I've got on my plate. If we're not talking about food, well, we're gonna talk about barbecue because it's time for lunch. I've got chopped smoked chicken, Texas toast, fries. You know, the classics. I've got standard carbonation, as always. And Bono's mustard-based sauce. Bono's is the best barbecue place in Jacksonville, Florida. I grew up around there, so I'm kind of biased. And to eat it, I have a biodegradable plastic fork and paper towels because you don't eat barbecue without paper towels. Real napkins won't do. It's a known fact of woodworking. You can't build awesome things if you don't eat awesome food. If we're not supposed to be talking about food, that's fine. I'm gonna still eat my lunch without apologies because it's barbecue. By the end of the month, I'm hoping to finish this, the Everything Clock. It's a clock that uses 9 digital displays to show time, social media accounts, and environmental data, among other things. It's gonna hang right here in the shop. I'm building it because I've seen other people build really cool YouTube counters. But if I'm gonna go to the effort to put this together and write the code and go out and fetch data from the internet, I want more than one piece of data. I want all the data.
I ate the whole plate. The whole plate.
Don't worry, I'm gonna make stuff out of wood with this project too. But for now, it's just a pile of parts that I'm soldering header pins onto. This is going to be a very cool and very useful tool when it's finished. Hopefully, by the end of this month. My tip to you is wheels. If you've got a small shop like I do, putting your stuff on wheels makes your shop a lot more usable. So how important are wheels in my shop? Look at this, it's a 1-car garage, but watch what happens when I use wheels to bring all of my tools in here. You never thought all this stuff was mobile, did you? But what a difference when everything is on wheels. Don't listen to those naysaying woodworkers. It's your shop, you do what you want to do. For me, I have a wide array of mid-range tools that give me a lot of capabilities, and they're all mounted on wheels, so I can push them out of the way when I don't need them and push them in the way when I do. It makes my 1-car garage shop here feel like a gymnasium. It works for me, it might work for you. Go on, get yourself some wheels. All the cool kids are doing it. My barrier, I often work alone out here and I don't have enough hands. So I invite other people over to help in the shop. But if they aren't available, I break my barrier with clamps. Lots and lots of clamps. Clamps help you hold stuff together. Clamps help you hold stuff apart. Clamps help you destroy failed projects. Wait, don't do that. Wood is too expensive to smash right now. You can never have too many clamps, and you can never say that you can't have too many clamps too many times. Some I bought, some were Christmas and birthday presents. This one belongs to my daughter. Clamps. They'll make you more useful in your shop, they'll look great on your wall, and they'll make all the other woodworkers think you're cool, even if you're not cool. This sign reminds me of some important words to live by. Corregidor Island in the Philippines was a World War II fortress. Olinta Tunnel is a network of military tunnels that were built before the war. Captured by the Japanese in 1942, Corregidor was liberated by the Allies in 1945. I lived on this nearby American Navy base, and in 1978, my Boy Scout troop and I went to Corregidor. A group of Filipino 5th graders joined us without asking, quickly becoming a nuisance. To get rid of them, we used our flashlights and a towel to simulate the notorious Philippine white lady ghost. Caparosa! The terrified 5th graders ran back toward the tunnel entrance while we used our maps to escape through a different tunnel entrance. But we ran into this. In 1945, survivors from the sunken Japanese battleship Musashi were defending this very tunnel, which they collapsed by detonating torpedo warheads. Our 1940 maps did not show this. Trapped in an underground bunker between the Imperial Japanese Navy and the angry 5th graders. We hid into the tunnel until they were gone. My words to live by: keep your documentation and project plan up to date, or risk being beaten up by angry children. My least used tool is my tile saw. It cuts tile. It cuts tile well. I don't do much tile work, but when I do, this tile saw works great. My wife and I have installed several tile floors, but we're getting older, and she has decided she doesn't want to install tile floors anymore.
I don't want to install tile floors anymore.
Like this recent tile floor in the kitchen. Did we install this?
No, we did not.
Along those same lines, I no longer move pianos. Pianos are made of lead and dead whales. They're hard to move, and I'm not even a musician. I'm just pointing out age-related policy changes that we're having here. But I still have the tile saw if I ever have to cut tile. Or if a friend needs to cut tile. So, the tile saw is in reserve, stored away for some future emergency where we absolutely have to cut tile. If that tile emergency happens, will you install the tile?
No.
I believe that talent is just a pursued interest. Anyone can do what I do. Anything you're willing to practice, you can do. And there are no mistakes, just happy accidents. Exercising the imagination, experimenting with talents, being creative with these things, to me, are truly windows to your soul. And there are no mistakes, just happy accidents. Anything that you believe you can do strongly enough, you can do. Anything. As long as you believe. There are no mistakes, just happy accidents. Believe that you can do it, because you can. Let's get a little crazy here. There are no mistakes, just happy accidents. Believe me, you can do it, because you can do it. You can do it. We'll start with my apron and gloves that I wear whenever I do painting or large glue-ups. I wear this because I've ruined so many shirts. To deal with dust in my small indoor workshop here, I wear this. It's a respirator, and it works really well to keep the dust out of my lungs. Loud noise is another hazard in wood shops. Fortunately, my father was a Navy pilot. He flew jets off of aircraft carriers. And on aircraft carriers, they have flight deck helmets like these. This is my father's 55-year-old flight deck helmet from Attack Squadron 27. Still works great. This is my daily wear. It's just like my dad's, except it has armored panels and a Rebel Legion sticker on the back. My daughter has the same thing, except she wanted white panels on hers. She's got some stickers for this, and she's about to take this off to college because she's got an internship that has a jet engine. I don't know about that, but the helmet's going. My crazy spill was Carl, the Christmas dinosaur. Carl was built as a joke in reference to this picture and this webcomic. We put him up at Christmas time with 50 flamingos to celebrate all that 2020 brought us and to confuse the neighborhood. Because we do what we want. It took us a week of cutting, painting, and assembly to get Carl put together, but it worked, and Carl stood 12 feet tall in my front yard, covered in flamingos. We were afraid of the HOA because Carl probably violates some rules. But we were wrong. Carl was immediately embraced by the neighborhood, and then the whole town.
It's a Christmas miracle!
All day, every day, people were stopping to take pictures, and we could not go out front without meeting new people. We even won an award.
It's a minor award.
Carl is just a very large and very silly plywood dinosaur. But he turned into a media event, and now the whole town knows who I am. And now Carl hangs on this wall, waiting until next Christmas, when he can once again come out and meet his adoring public. What do I do when I'm not making? Lots of stuff.
We go on dates.
I follow a lot of military history and am a member of dozens of military history groups online. A lot of what I do is follow naval aviation history, like this. Yes, this is naval aviation history. I also say controversial things like the Bismarck was sunk, not scuttled. We're in a costuming club called the Rebel Legion.
We sometimes team up with our friends from the 501st Legion and visit kids in hospitals.
It's rewarding, plus it allows us to hang out with our geek friends.
Death to the Empire!
Nerds! Nerds! Nerds!
I spend a lot of time researching new ideas on the internet, either learning new techniques or seeing what other people have done. It gives me great ideas for stuff I might be able to build.
And sometimes we go on errands, which are also dates.
So those are the kinds of things I do when I'm not making. Just a regular guy. Nothing weird at all. My biggest game changer is not a tool, it's one of the projects. The TechnoDesk demonstrated to me that I could build something this complex and have everything work. Totally changed my idea about incorporating electronics inside furniture. The desk has power outlets in its drawers, Wi-Fi storage and Wi-Fi kill switch, battery banks and party light, weather radio, mail storage with a pirate cutlass letter opener, sound activated disco light, umbrella storage, dog leash compartment, 15-page monster paper shredder, mail delivery detector, alert lights for weather events, shredder, and mail sorting. And this, it doesn't do anything. It's one of the airplanes my dad flew.
It's only a model.
Is the TechnoDesk a bit over the top? Yes. Yes, it is. Am I going to build more over-the-top stuff like this? Yes. Yes, I am. I often work
work alone out here in the shop, but I do have collaborators from time to time.
This is Hannah.
Hi, I'm Hannah. I design a lot of this stuff remotely when I'm not at college. Goodbye.
This is Becca.
And that was my bed frame we built.
Yay!
This is Donna.
I just do jigsaw puzzles.
This is Kevin. Fire bad. Shannon, my other daughter, who also helps occasionally. Sometimes I have a crowd of people helping, and that always involves lots of food. At any given point, I've got 50 to 60 future projects listed in my spreadsheet. But when someone comes along and says, hey, let's build something, and it works out, I'm like, hey, come over to the shop, let's collaborate, join us.
We have cookies!
People keep wandering in here, and as long as they do that, I'll keep collaborating. Our 2020 victory was this parcel box we put on the front porch to capture parcels that are delivered here. It mostly worked, but not entirely. It's a parcel delivery box for our parcels on our front porch. But our parcel box has a creepy family photo alert system. The system detects the delivery, turns on the eyes, makes them blink occasionally, and displays a time-elapse clock. You reset it by pushing this button. I'll bet your package deliveries aren't this cool, or this haunted. All we needed to build this was an Arduino, some coding skills, and the willingness to poke out our family's eyes with an ice pick. But after 6 months of use, I can report that only about 60% of our packages actually go into the box. So we're gonna rebuild the box, make it smaller, more obviously a parcel drop-off box. I don't know, maybe make it talk to people, say, hey, put your packages in here. But we'll still have this. My question is this: if a maker buys supplies for a second project while working on a project, how long will it be before that maker buys supplies for a third project?
I was told there would be no math.
Okay, fine. Here's my real question. Do you have more projects on your build list than you can make in a reasonable amount of time? And if so, how do you prioritize them? As many of you know, I maintain a YouTube channel and I put out 2 or 3 videos a month on things like shop stuff, furniture, stained glass, electronics, sometimes everything all together. So I move things around based on whether or not I have room in the shop to do it, or if the supplies are in and so forth. Okay, so outside of client requests for a build, how do you prioritize your build list? What inspires you to move things to the top of your list to work on? What is next on your plate because you made a decision? How do you come to that decision? How do you prioritize your list? If failure wasn't an option, I'd go solar. I'm an IT guy, and you can probably tell by my deep tan here that I don't really go out into the big blue room very often. But if I had the resources and time to do it, I would go solar on my house. Absolutely. It would be great to reduce the electric bill, heat the water, do all the things. This is our water heater. If you live in an all-electric home, you're spending about 21% of your power bill just heating water. We probably do more than that because we have 5 people here. Just think what we'd have if we had solar power. Unlimited hot water. So that's what I want, solar. My guilty pleasure? I like to explore odd places and find weird stuff online to go look at. It's a lot of fun to see what somebody else thought of to be creative, or thought was a good business idea, or in this case, a battle was fought. Whenever I travel, I go to roadsideamerica.com and search for areas around my destination for weird stuff to see. This has led to many adventures over the years. Or I watch other people who do the same thing. One of the people I watch is Adam the Woo.
A Christmas story house. It is the Christmas story house.
He does urban exploration, strange things, theme parks, whatever you want to do, and he's been in a lot of places I have.
It's this gargantuan cow.
So outside of the shop, those are some of my guilty pleasures. Well, that and barbecue pizza.
I'm inviting you to join me. Shall you?
Today we're talking about Maker's Block. Do I get Maker's Block? No. All of my projects are planned in advance and are done according to a strict schedule. Under no circumstances do I ever allow projects to lay around unbuilt. None of my projects ever get piled up in the shop waiting to be built. Supplies are always used immediately upon arrival. Complex projects are always fully thought out before I begin, and I'm never delayed because something happens that I hadn't planned for. My spreadsheet of upcoming projects never has gaps in it that I have to work to fill. Maker's block. Does that really happen? Is that even a thing? I'm a teenager of the 80s and I listen to the normal stuff. You probably listen to the same thing, so it's not a surprise. But here's a couple of unusual ones I also listen to you may not have heard of. Lindsay Sterling dances while playing modern violin. It's different, interesting, and her stuff is mostly instrumental, so you can think while you listen to it. Plus, she gives good advice.
I've decided that there's two types of people in this world. There's those that think farts are funny, and liars.
The other is lawyer Steve Lato's YouTube commentary.
And then later on, they discover that there's some kind of goofy smudge going on there.
He puts stuff out a couple of times each week, and it's always a good listen.
I don't mean to get all wonky on you here.
So that's what I'm listening to on my earbuds out here in the wood shop. My turning point? I was a regular kid living in a regular suburb, but not too far from Cape Canaveral.
On May 14th, 1973, I walked out of this Radio Shack. Well, it was a Radio Shack, and I saw Skylab launch right there from NASA. This building across the street was the Hardys. That's got nothing to do with the story. I just thought you should know.
And then NASA people came to my elementary school and told us about this thing called the space shuttle. We were going to get space shuttle tickets and go into space. A little while after that, this TV show called Space 1999 started to air. In the mid-70s, I got this t-shirt. It's got rocket ships on it. Rocket ships! All of those things together served as my turning point. It made me appreciate intelligence and moving forward with ideas. It made me more creative. And now, 46 years later, I still have that same outlook. And the clothes still fit. Sort of. Today is Caption This, so I'm going to show you some bloopers from the YouTube reel, and I'm going to have my daughter Hannah help because I'm not funny.
Hi, I'm Hannah.
Shooting, look contemplative.
Oh no! Airplane, airplane, airplane. If they're like this, try that again. Only during the summertime and only when you need to work on something up there. The attic's hot! You dance if you want to, you can leave your friends behind. If they don't dance and if they don't dance,
I was that kid that took things apart around the house. My mother didn't see the humor in that. In 1976, I was horribly burned in a car accident and started reading model rocketry catalogs while I recovered. This led to a lifetime of flying things and learning the science of math and flight. I even met the founder of one of the rocketry companies to thank him for inspiring me. Building rockets led to building lots of other things. At the same time, I followed a lot of sci-fi.
Look at me. Look at me. I am the captain now.
And military history. Then I worked in IT for about 20 years, gaining project management and software development experience. Along the way, I built stuff I needed or wanted, gaining skills as I went. And now, after 45 years of building things with rocketry, wood, glass, metal, electronics, I can safely build just about anything I can think of. Well, as far as you know. What drives me to make? I like to build stuff for my family, stuff that makes their lives easier and more fun. That's it. That's why I build. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Okay, some of the stuff I build is to help me, but I'm a member of the family too. Why can't I have nice things? Of course, the stuff I build is a bit unusual, like this thing, but that's because I take things that aren't normally combined, like electronics and paper shredders and things like that, and furniture all together in one happy package. I'm also curious by nature, and I'll incorporate new ideas and techniques if I need them for a project. So my drive is a desire to build cool things for my family, bolstered with a strong sense of curiosity. It's a good combination, and somewhat dangerous when you consider my rocketry past. But it's worked so far, and I'll keep building cool stuff in the future because I can't wait to get to the next project. I've been working from home for the last year and only recently started going back to the office 1 or 2 days a week. Still not back full time. My wife works away from the house and my 3 daughters are in college. So it's just me and the dog here most of the time. Many people have found the lockdown stifling, but I'm an old school nerd and I've done computer things for decades. In other words, I've trained for this, I've prepared for this. So what have I learned during lockdown? I've learned that I miss spending time around other people. I know, I'm surprised by that too. I've learned I've really missed going to movies in person. I've also learned what things I need and what things I don't need. And I've been jettisoning a lot of stuff that I don't need. But mostly I've learned that the world didn't end and there are some wonderful makers out there who have some really cool online tutorials on what they've done and videos and so forth. And I've learned a lot from them. So hey, I'm glad we're coming out of this lockdown, and I just wanted to say thank you to all the makers who have been schooling me this whole time. Aspirations? I have a few. I was told that in the future we would all have computers in our houses that look like this. I'm still bitter that glorious blinking light future never happened, but I'm doing my best to adapt to this dystopian world we find ourselves in now. Even though that cool future never happened, I still want to build more electronic stuff that is embedded in furniture and wall displays. I'm really looking into internet functionality for future projects. My main aspiration is to keep building cool stuff that my family can use. And someday when I'm retired, I'll have even more time to build amazing things. That's my big aspiration, unlimited free time. I want to be that old guy in the jumpsuit, tennis shoes, and ball cap that we've all seen at the hardware store. You know who I'm talking about. That's going to be me. And if you see future me someday at the hardware store, stop by and say hello, and I'll tell you the cool projects I'm working on. Might even have you over to the shop for barbecue. Who knows? What have I not explored yet? CNC routing. Mostly because I haven't needed it. To me, it's a new technology that will take a fair amount of time for me to learn, and I really don't need it for any of the projects I'm working on now. I know. You can use CNC on any project, and I should probably be doing that. I get it. I totally understand. I'm not one of those people who says that CNC isn't real woodworking. I think it is. It's just not something I'm doing at the moment. I'll eventually get a CNC router, and I'm sure I'll love it. But what I'm likely to do before I buy one is to go to a makerspace or collaborate with somebody who already has one so they can give me the ins and outs and kind of explain it. That's what I did with 3D printers and a few other things that I have. So that's the route I'll probably take. But for now, I'll stick with the tools that I've got and eventually move into it when it makes sense on a future project. So CNC is in my future, just not my immediate future. But when the time comes, if you have a CNC machine, maybe I'll call you to ask your opinion. Who knows? Could be fun. I talked about collaborating with people in an earlier Made for Makers video, but I'll save you a click and just tell you, I like working with other people. Working with others on a shared project is fun. I always learn new things and we end up with cool stuff that we've made. On my YouTube channel, you normally see me working with my daughter, Hannah. She's in college and she comes home to help every now and then. In fact, she was here a couple days ago helping with a project. She's an engineering student today because she found love of building things right here in this shop. But working with other people is also fun, and I've been trying to do more of that. We get to hang out, make things, and enjoy good food and good conversation. And so far, no one has suffered any permanent injuries working here with me in the shop. I always learn something new when working with others. So collaborations are great. I like them. I'd like to do more. You do YouTube stuff and you want to do a video together, hey, give me a call. Maybe we can work something out. If it's the right project, we can do it. People sometimes comment that my shop is too clean and that's evidence that I don't use it. No, my shop looks clean because I have a broom and I'm not afraid to use it. My shop gets thoroughly trashed when I'm working on projects. This is my current view. Right now, I'm building a French cleat battery charger that will charge my Ryobi and Black & Decker batteries without them catching on fire. Also under construction is the electronic clock that has all these displays that's gonna hang back here. I'm building a back porch coffee table that has a 12-inch burner in it so that we can have fire on the back porch. And then there's the new kitchen stools I'm building. It'll make sense later, but this is a stool. So yeah, I trash this place on a regular basis. Why do you think we keep it out here in the garage? So I can keep it trashed when I need it trashed and nobody knows any different.
Junkin!
You should do the same thing. You're in your shop to have fun, aren't you?
I wanted chunks.
Trash it, build what you want, and then use your broom.
Junkin now!
Today's topic is meat of the month. Well, we're in a pandemic. There's not many meats of the month. Now that's changing a little bit, but for the last year, it's been mostly me out here. But I like to work with other people. I like to make things. I like to do things online. And that's where you come in. I talked about collaboration yesterday, but I run a YouTube channel. I do a lot of things, a lot of different projects. On the YouTube channel, I do carpentry, electronics, stained glass sometimes, a little bit of metalwork. Right now, I'm running through a series on French cleat hangers. I built these two just last week. So if you like what you've seen out there, I'm doing it all the time. Come join me on the YouTube channel. I'd love to have you. I'd love to have your comments. It's a lot of fun to get together online, and this is how you can get together with me on a regular basis. Go subscribe to that YouTube channel.
Like and subscribe. Hit that bell if you don't want to miss a notification from us. I think that's it. Goodbye.
Tools come and go in my shop. I've got old stuff, I've got new stuff. But my really oldest tools come from way back in high school and earlier that my father's gifted me as he's downsized in retirement. This is my Craftsman jigsaw. I've had this since '81 and it still works just fine. I've built a lot of things with this.
Like my father before me.
But my oldest tool comes from even before the jigsaw. This is my first power screwdriver. It comes from the 60s. You just do this. Use of this screwdriver is unwieldy at best and often results in bloody knuckles. Not only is this my oldest tool, but the fact that it only comes with a slot tip on it means that it's also illegal. So these are my two oldest tools. This one I don't use because I don't like blood, but this one is used all the time. On the walls of my shop are many things, including this giant model rocket fin. I used to work for a company called VeriSign, and back in 2003, we joined a STEM program where we taught 11th graders how to build model rockets. Really big model rockets. Model rockets that could carry 2 eggs to supersonic speeds and high altitude. As part of that effort, we built the TriStar, a 9-foot tall model rocket.
You know what? If the parachute doesn't
Jackson.
yeah, it would come straight down on us.
Some of those kids we taught are engineers today, and I still have the fin and the nose cone from that launch. So if you ever wonder why we build crazy things here, remember, I actually am a rocket scientist. That's Made for Makers. I think I'm going to do some other challenges in the future. We'll see how it goes. I'll probably be back for Made for Makers next year, but that's all I got for now. If you liked all this sort of thing, hey, this is the channel where the builds happen. Like, subscribe, ring that bell so you won't miss any updates, and I'll keep building. See you next time.